Okay, exercise 1, resisted press-ups. Make sure you've selected a band that's right for this exercise. All we're going to do is move it up through the armpits and rest it in between your thumb and 4 fingers. You're down onto the floor, hands shoulder width apart and feet outstretched. We're going to go for 10 reps with a 30-second rest in between each one. Make sure when we go down, we're going to nose just above the floor, then back up to full extension. Ready? First set begins in 3, 2, 1. Let's go. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 30-second rest starts now. Okay, this time I'll do it a side-on shot so you can see it from a slightly different angle. Key things that people might be doing wrong: moving the bum up too much, or dropping the hips ever so slightly, or having your hands too far apart. So make sure we're shoulder width apart and we're keeping a nice straight body through the movement. 6 seconds to go. 4, 3, 2, 1. Here we go. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Last rest, 30 seconds starts again. Shake it off if you need to. I'm feeling pretty tired already. 20 seconds to go. Find the position again. If the band's feeling too light, you might want to select a slightly different one to increase the resistance. 10 seconds to go. Find the position again. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Last 10. 9. Nice and steady. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Resistance press ups done. Rest whilst I explain the next exercise. Right guys, the next exercise we're going to do is bicep curls. So make sure you've selected the right band for your resistance. Very simply, all you're going to do is placing the band in the middle underneath both feet. The wider you have your feet, the harder the resistance is. So make sure you adjust accordingly. Mine are going to be just wider than shoulder width apart. Common mistakes that people make through this movement is that they try and throw the weight up and they don't go to full extension. So you want to avoid having your arms bent and not going to full extension like this. Make sure you go to full extension and then back up. Full extension and then back up, instead of just doing small ones like this. Okay? So the first step's going to start in 3, 2, 1, let's go. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Rest there, 30 seconds starts. I actually found that slightly too easy, that one, so I'm going to get my feet slightly wider apart this time to increase the resistance on the band ever so slightly. Same again, just bringing it up to shoulder height and then back down with both hands. We're going 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Rest for 30 again. Common mistakes that people make, particularly as they start getting tired, they start leaning back into the movement and they start trying to throw it up from the bottom. Make sure you keep a nice steady pace through the range of movement and you're not leaning back or using your upper body to really get your arms up. Okay, so final time, starting in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Off we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Bicep curls done. Rest whilst I explain the next exercise. Right guys, the next exercise is going to be shoulder press. So make sure you select a band that's appropriate for that exercise. And similar to bicep curls, the band's going to go underneath both of the feet, and the wider you put them apart, the more resistance there's going to be on the band. What you can do is bring your hands to shoulder height, palms facing away from you, and then you're going to raise to bring the bands above your head, and then lower back down again. I really want you to focus on your breathing for this exercise, and make sure you're breathing out on the way up, and in on the way back down. Okay? So let's get ready. First set is going to begin in 3, 2, 1. Let's go. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, rest for 30 seconds. Shake it off if you need to. Things to make sure it's a nice steady pace the whole way through the movement, so you're not jerking up at the beginning and then slowing down at the top. Try and keep a nice steady pace as you go through. Make sure your hands or your palms facing forward and away from you. Okay? Ready for the next set? We're going in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's go. 1, 2, 3. Keep breathing. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Shake it out. One more set to go. 30-second rest. Remember, if it's feeling too easy, you can increase the resistance by moving your feet slightly wider apart. Last set to go. Make sure you keep your form. Don't lean back or forward. Try and keep the core straight and moving straight up through the movement. 10 seconds to go. Find your positions. Ready in 3, 2, 1. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, keep going to full extension. 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, get ready to rest whilst I explain the next exercise. Right guys, the next exercise is resisted get-ups. What you've got to do for this is get an anchor and attach it to something, maybe a door handle, the side of your bed, or something like that. But ideally you want it at about the same height, so when you're sat on the floor, it's level with your shoulders approximately. Okay? So once you've set up your anchor and whatever is available to you, what you're then going to do is face away from it, one handle in each hand, and from that position you're going to be seated with your arms outstretched, and there's a smaller amount of resistance in the bands. You're then going to go from a completely laid down position and sitting up through the movement. Okay, the biggest challenge here is trying to keep your hips, knees and ankles all in contact with the floor. So if I just demonstrate one more time, it's down to a full leg position, shoulders onto the floor, and then sit up through the movement, keeping your arms locked out and your hands pushed away from you. Okay? First set is going to start in 3, 2, 1. Let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, 30 seconds rest starts now. Even my ankles were coming off the floor slightly there. You've just got to try and imagine your legs are very heavy, keeping them as flat as you possibly can. Another common mistake that people make here is they stop breathing. So they tense up and they stop breathing through the exercise. So make sure you breathe out on the way up and in on the way down. Okay? Last 10 seconds, take recovery. We're going in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, rest another 30 seconds. If you're finding this difficult, on the last set you might want to consider doing it without the band. So exactly the same movement, keeping your legs flat on the floor, going through the same process, just really trying to keep those hips, knees and ankles pressed in. Okay. Final set, try and stay with me, try and keep the time, try and keep steady through the movement. Okay, we're going in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Keep those ankles pushed down. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, last one, dig in, 10. Well done, boys. Rest whilst I explain the next exercise. Right guys, the next exercise is going to be overhead tricep extensions. So in preparation for this, you need the anchor attached to something at about waist height behind you. And then all you're going to do from that position is face away from the anchor and bring the handles just above your head with your elbows at about eye or shoulder height. The aim for this exercise is to extend the hands forward but not be moving your elbow. So your elbow's like a hinge, so if you find yourself doing this, that's an incorrect movement. You want to be trying to keep your elbows as still as possible with just your forearms extending forward. Okay? So you won't need much resistance for this exercise to feel it. Make sure you've got the right band on. And we're going to be going 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 2, 3, 4. Keep breathing. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, rest. Depending on how that felt, guys, you can increase the resistance by moving away from the anchor, or reduce the resistance a little bit by moving closer to it. But you must make sure you keep your form, make sure you're not throwing your body into the movement, or again moving that elbow, keep those nice and stationary, and all the work's just coming through this muscle here. Okay? Going in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's go. 3. Try and keep it my pace if you can. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Good boys, rest, well done. Another 30 seconds. That's a common mistake that people make on this guys as well, is they get to that full range of movement out there and then they let it ping and relax back. So try and keep the resistance steady there and just lower it back before you head out again. So don't let it ping back in that movement. Okay? Last set, keep the pace going, keep the breathing going, make sure the form's good. Going in 3, 2, 1, let's go. 10, 9, 8, keep those elbows still. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and rest whilst I explain the next exercise. Okay guys, next exercise we're going to do is called seated row. So your anchor needs to be positioned at about knee height if you were standing up. So when you go down to sit, it's working at about chest or nipple height, just in there. Okay, your feet are going to be at about 90, resting flat on the floor, and through the movement, all you're trying to do is bring your hands back to your chest. Okay, pinching the shoulder blades together, and then going back to full extension of the elbows. Common mistakes that people will make here are using their body to lean back in the movement. Okay, body stays completely still. You isolate the arms and the back muscles by just staying nice and still and working those and really pinching those shoulder blades together at the back. Okay, so the first set's going to start in 3, 2, 1, let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, good. Rest for 30 seconds, guys. Again, please make sure that you're not using your upper body to bring the weight or the resistance back. You're just keeping it nice and steady and using your arms through the movement. You want to be pinching your shoulder blades together in the middle of the back and working these back muscles here. Okay, keeping the arms at about shoulder height. We're going to go in 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's go. 2, 3. Try and keep my pace. 4. Really pinch those shoulder blades together. 5, 6. Keep breathing. 7, 8, 9, 10, and rest. Again, you can change the resistance. If you sit closer to the anchor, it'll get easier. If you sit further back, the strain and the resistance gets harder. So you can adjust that depending on how you're feeling going into this last set. Okay? Keep the form good. Keep nice steady through the movement. Pinch those shoulder blades together. Going in 4, 3, 2, 1. 2, really pinch at the back. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, and rest whilst I explain the next exercise. Okay guys, the last exercise we're going to look at is the squat, and I think this is the hardest one for people to get right. So you're going to need quite a heavy band to feel the resistance on this one, so obviously your legs are quite strong muscles in there. Common mistakes that people make. So the first thing is they put their knees over their toes, which is the last thing you want to be doing. So people go down for a squat like this, okay? You want to make sure your feet remain flat on the floor. Your first movement of your hips is backwards. So you're not going forwards with your knees, it's the first movement of the hips that go backwards. Feet remain flat on the floor, and then you push up to full extension with the hips coming forward again. So just to demonstrate one more time, hips go back straight, look up to the top corner of the room, and then stand back up again with the hips coming through. Okay? You don't want to be moving on your feet. Make sure they stay rooted to the floor, nice and flat. So grab your heavy resistance band, that goes up under both feet, and then you bring the handles up to about shoulder height, and then you're going through that movement for 10 repetitions as we do so. Make sure you keep the good form. Okay? 3, 2, 1, let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Keep looking up to the top corner of the room. 6, 7, 8, 9. Last one. 10. And relax. Again, you want to make it slightly harder. Get your feet moved a little bit further apart, but you don't want it too wide. You don't want to go much wider than shoulder width. Also, it does help slightly if you have your feet a little bit turned out like that, instead of having them completely parallel, or whatever feels most comfortable for you. Okay? Find your position again, we're going in 10 seconds. Handles up to shoulder height. Make sure your feet are nice and flat on the floor. Okay, we're going 3, 2, 1, let's go. Keep looking to that top corner of the room in front of you. Hips go backwards. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Keep back nice and straight. 7, 8, 9. Last one. 10. And rest. 30 seconds left. Last exercise, guys. Again, keep your form. Keep checking yourself. Are my feet flat? Are they slightly wider than shoulder width? Are my hips going backwards? Am I looking up to the top corner of the room? And then back to full extension. So make sure the knees aren't coming forward and your feet aren't moving around. Okay? Last one, we're going 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Keep breathing. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.